Welcome to the Lake Placid Volunteer Fire Department. I'm Jordan Favre, I'm an Assistant Chief of the department. We're going to walk you through a few trucks today, and we're going to start with 221, which is our main engine out the door for commercial, residential alarms here in Lake Placid. This is where a majority of our crew members will ride. We've got a thermal imaging camera up there in the back, that's that orange device. And then we've got a few SCBA apparatus for our members, along with radios. Moving back, for probably 90% of our fires, these will be our main attack lines going in. These are 1 3/4 lines with smooth bore nozzles. And what members will do is they'll pull these out, rotate, and throw them right on their hip or their shoulder rather than hopefully with the fire out. Moving back, you can see an intake and then 2 discharges. This is a 5-inch discharge, and then this is adjustable to 2.5, and then down to our 1.5, 1 3/4 lines. Moving back into the step. In this compartment you can see a few different types of extinguishers along with our high-rise pack. If we have a commercial building that's standpipe, say the Greenwood here in town, we can go ahead and bring this up rather than having to stretch a line from the truck. We can just tie into their system and go and get the fire. Down below here you can also see a few EMS bags for us, and then just some cones. In this compartment we've got various hand tools. These down here are the gas detectors for any CO alarms, propane. Up here we have elevator keys and then a dry chemical extinguisher. In this compartment and down in here we have extra cylinders, and these are 30-minute bottles. And then moving back, we have hand tools such as a screw gun. There's a sawzall in there, just a few lights, and then vent fans and an extension cord for them. Okay, here we are at the driver's compartment. We are very lucky in Lake Placid to have 6 paid full-time drivers that respond our trucks and engines there. Once you get up there you can see the various radios, the sirens, and the device with the blue light on the top of it. That's a Knox box that if they have those inside or on the exterior half of the buildings, we can get in with the keys that are inside of there. Okay, moving back. So when we're at a working fire, the driver that drove the truck here will be up here manning the pump panel. From here he can control water pressure, what hoses have water, and the different valves on the truck. And you can also control the CAV system, which is compressed air foam, and that essentially just adds water into the Essentially it adds soap into the water and it expands the water. We can use a lot more with 500 gallons. We can increase that exponentially. This is what we call the engineer's compartment. In this compartment we have various adapters to make our different sizes of hose work with each other. We've got a few spare nozzles along with a hydrant wrench and some stork wrenches. Down below we have some flares and some hand tools, and then down below that even further we have our manifold, which will take a section of 5" off the back of the truck, hook it to our hydrant. That section will attach right onto this manifold, and then this pony length of 5" will go over there and attach into our intake. Here we just have some extra tools and lights. This is a flat-headed axe. On the other side, if you remember, we'll have the pick-headed axe, which is nothing more than just a pick on the back. This is a Mulligan tool, and that's what we use to force doors a lot of the time, along with the axe. In this last compartment, we have a vent saw, along with a regular chainsaw, because this truck goes to trees down, limbs down. We'll use that rather than using our vent saw. We have gas, an intake for drafting, and then various adapters and gated Ys up top here. An interesting thing about the difference in these saws is the chain that is actually used on them. I don't know if we'll be able to get a good comparison here, but as you can see, this is a regular chain like any other forestry blade, and then this is what they call a bullet chain, and this allows us to cut through various materials, and it won't get dull if you hit a nail like this one will. It'll just tear the nail out of the way. And they're quite a bit more expensive than the regular blades. Okay, here we are at the back of the truck. Up top in the center you'll see our supply line, which is 5". Over there the black hose is 2.5". And then back up in there it's attached to a blitz fire, which is essentially a blue ground monitor. If something's too far gone for interior attack, we can go ahead and set that up and push a lot of water onto the fire. These are dummy lengths right now, but they can be pulled off and attached to, say, a gated Y that you've strung along with the 2.5". Back here we have our generator, and then this is the chimney stuff. So if you have a chimney fire, this is the stuff we'll grab. And you can see the bags of dry chem here. It will just drop down the chimney, and the heat will melt the bag and disperse the chemical. These are the chains. And what we'll do, this will be up on the ladder. We'll drop these down into your chimney and we'll swing them around, lowering them down as we go. hopefully knocking the debris down. In this compartment we have our ladders. We have a 12-foot roof ladder, and this is the one with the famous pipes on the front of it, the top of it. And then we have a 24-foot ground ladder that extends up as needed. Down below, we have an attic ladder, and this will fold right out into a steppable ladder. And then we also have some pike poles in here as well. Okay, here we are at one of our storage rooms. Here you can see we've got multiple sizes of hose rolled up and ready to go. Moving down here, this is our gear drying rack. And we also have an industrial washing machine to get all of our gear cleaned up after a fire. It used to be cool to have good salty stuff, and what I'm saying by that is dirty stuff means you've been in it, been doing a lot of stuff. And now what we're finding is cancer isn't all that cool, and all the carcinogens and the smoke and all that soot is really harming us. So now it's our policy after every fire everybody washes their gear, and we're hoping to avoid cancer and other future health issues. On the other side of our storage room you can see we have an air compressor to fill up our cylinders. We have the potential to go through quite a few cylinders of the fire, and they'll all need filling. We have some extras here. We're very lucky to have this piece of equipment. There's a lot of area departments that don't have this. Moving over here, I'll demonstrate an air pack to you. It has several parts. And except for the mask, these will already be pre-done, so this isn't something we'll have to do when we get there. A lot of systems for air packs, they screw into the back and on the side over here. Ours, you just take this peg and push in, and that'll lock it in. We can strap it down. This is the regulator, so this will connect here to the mask. That'll attach just like so. And to turn it on, you take this, go ahead and pressurize the system. And we have a purge to allow extra air go out. And then hopefully we'll never use it, but in case we do, we have the Mayday alarm.